Hello, and welcome to the Intel Brief. We're just going to do another weekend shooting the shit, and this weekend I'm joined with Cole from Alcon. So, hi Cole.
Dan, thanks for having me.
You mate?
I'm good. Good. It's good to be here. I can't remember the last time I was on your podcast. It would have been a while ago, eh?
It would have been ages ago, I think. Well, how long is it since you've done any podcast?
Yeah. No, I haven't done a podcast in a long time. I've kind of just batted them away for the last wee while, just because it's one of those things that, it's like, oh fuck, I just don't have the time for that at the moment. But now,
That's fair.
now I've got a bit more time up my sleeve, so jumping back into it, and what better way than to jump on yours?
To jump on here. Oh, well, thank you for joining me. So what's new? You say you got more free time? What's new with Cole and Alcon?
Yeah, so for anyone that's been following Alcon since its inception, as a lot of people probably know, it started off as a social media platform delivering insights, namely in the Indo-Pacific. That grew over time. We were able to branch out and do a bunch of different things, podcasts, blogs, all sorts of things. And what we've really landed on is intelligence training. So we built the intelligence analyst certification course, got that all certified and legit. And yeah, since then we've been able to make Alcon a full-time gig. So that's what I do now for my job as the founder and director of Alcon Intelligence, it's really cool. There's a lot of uncertainty, but it's almost like living the dream, right? Started this thing as a passion project, and now it's kind of grown into a fully fledged company where I'm able to provide value to people and beyond social media posts. I'm really happy about it.
That's awesome. I've had the pleasure of meeting your students a few weeks ago when I told them about the joys of due diligence and investigations. So that's very cool.
That was cool.
How are you finding it? How are you finding the change going away from kind of like government service, really, and then going into being a business owner?
It's good. It's just like, it's kind of like, you're kind of the master of your own destiny, right? So you don't, as an entrepreneur, you don't have really anyone to answer to apart from essentially your customers and your clients. So that's
the bank account, yeah.
Yeah, the bank account. So that's the tricky part. So, you wake up and you kind of run your own team routine, and that's really cool. That's what I've always wanted, to be able to run my own routine. And, if I want to take 2 hours for lunch, I'm going to take 2 hours for lunch, and no one's going to tell me otherwise, sort of thing. But at the same time, it's just as much work, if not more. You're wearing multiple different hats, especially as a startup, which can get quite stressful. But on the flip side of that, the stress it's worth it. It's something you're very passionate about. I'm happy to be stressed out about things because it's like a good stress, because you've got a purpose and a passion behind it. So no, it's good. I'm really enjoying it. And it's funny, the moment you kind of step out into the unknown and do your own thing, more opportunities open up. So since then I've had quite a few people reach out to me for different opportunities and business opportunities, which has been really exciting and has allowed me to see some of the cool initiatives that are happening in the private intel space, which is movement. So yeah, no, it's been great so far.
That's awesome. That sounds like a very interesting challenge, and maybe HM Intelligence will go there one day, but definitely not anytime soon.
One day, mate. You'll get there.
Yeah, I think yes, not the right time, or living in London and trying to start a go by yourself seems like an insane idea to me.
Well, I've certainly had to take a pay cut. Because I have to pay myself, but also the business needs to make money. So I'm splitting my old pay between two entities, but
two masters. Yeah.
But no, it's all good though. Yeah.
No, that's cool. It sounds like an awesome time, to be honest. It's super exciting. And you talked about other opportunities. I did see you post on LinkedIn about going to speak at the Institute of Intelligence Professionals. I don't think that's happened yet. as far as I'm
No.
aware.
So that's happening this coming Thursday. So if you're a New Zealand listener, we've got the New Zealand Institute of Intelligence Professionals every year. They run an annual conference, which is really cool. You have a lot of panels, a lot of guest speakers, and I'm sitting on a panel, and the topic is crowdsourcing intelligence and combating disinformation. And the reason why I'm on that panel is because it's just the way Alcon started, right? We started as a social media intelligence presence, much like yourself, Dan. And, we get to talk about the opportunities that have kind of come up in that space and some of the benefits of having that. You open up, you unlock this whole new community, right, of intelligence analysts, enthusiasts. Sometimes you get connections and insights into people that are actually on the ground in certain places. So no doubt you've had people reach out who may or may not have been in Ukraine. I've had people reach out who are on the ground in places like the Cook Islands, right? Wanting to talk about some of the influence that is happening there. So, it's really good. But on the flip side of that, there's also the risk of bad actors and just people who just operate in bad faith. So, take the good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've recently had people in Serbia reaching out with lots of footage of the protests there because they've stepped up to another level. Yeah. So it's good to get the word on the ground. I think I shared a video last night that I ended up deleting because apparently there was like this inside joke within like a certain sect of Serbian community where like it was essentially a wind up video. And yeah, this guy reached out. He's like, oh, by the way, that's just like a joke video from like these certain people. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's a good way of understanding what's really going on within a certain area.
Yeah. And would you, like, if you put a call out on your platforms and we're like, hey, I need to know what's happening in this part of Ukraine, do you think you'd get answers?
Yeah. Ukraine specifically, yeah.
Yeah, well, as an example, right? Like,
yeah. I think it would depend on like how many like people I actually have follow me from that country. Like I can go into your like stats and see where like you're getting views from to see how many people you have in certain countries. But like, I don't know if you've seen in my stories, when I go traveling, I often like leave a coin or something in the city that I've been traveling to. And every single time I get people from that city messaging me being like, oh man, I hope you enjoyed it here. Like next time, like let me know, we'll go for a beer. Like, and I've been to some pretty far flung places at this point. And had people every time reach out being like really excited to see that I've been traveling in their country. Which is awesome when I'm traveling in places that are less well traveled, like Moldova or like Armenia, Georgia, places that are a bit more further afield than, London or Paris, etc. But yeah, like the people are there. It's whether I don't feel like putting them in that position because you never know. Instagram is not a secure messaging app. I'm not gonna put people in that position. In my professional work, we have networks for doing like when we're doing like a due diligence investigation in a former Soviet country, for example. There's networks of people you can pay to go and collect information for you, but it's less because it's corporate information. It isn't risky for them. It can be in countries like China, but most of the time it's pretty above board. You just, unless the company is connected to like the government or like, unsavory individuals within that country, but then you'll get very quickly told by the local that, they're not going to go and get that information. And I think that if you're doing due diligence, that tells you everything you need to know about your investigation. So yeah. But it's pretty interesting. Like I find the idea of crowdsourcing intelligence very interesting, especially in this current age where everyone is online. Like even human intelligence, like you see all these nefarious actors and nefarious activities happening in the grey zone around Europe, and their recruitment patterns are so, like, almost always online now. They're getting recruited through video games, recruited through chat rooms, recruited through other, like, places where like-minded individuals go, and then you just have a talent scout sitting in there, and he's like, oh yeah, here's a guy who's a bit disenfranchised with his life in Poland. He's poor. He's looking for someone to talk to. Suddenly he's throwing a firebomb through a shop window, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah. And I guess the key message there for anyone listening, I'm not going to be running sources from my Instagram account.
Yeah, sorry.
So don't get excited. Yeah.
That's not what we meant.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. And, you know, that's kind of why I started to toy with the Discord as well, because I'm starting to, like, especially when you're online, there's something to be said about communities, and I think Discord would be a good platform for that. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to keep the momentum going there, but from the people in there, it's been good to have, like, more in-depth discussion on things than you would typically get from Instagram. Like, so taking people from Instagram to Discord, and the people you typically get on there, they want to learn more and they want to engage more. So you're not going to get everyone from Instagram going to Discord. So yeah, you know, the community aspect is important too. Yeah, and having people feel like, you know, they're part of something.
Yeah, that makes sense. I completely agree. It's definitely. I also reiterate what you say about having enough time. It's posting across all of these different things. It's so time consuming. It's just unreal.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it, mate. Like, man, I used to. I tried that back in the day, and I was just like, oh fuck, this is too hectic.
I think I just fire and forget at this point. I don't generally go back and look. I'm just fucking throwing shit into the wind, and if I find it interesting, I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. I'll just post it and then close the app and carry on with my life until I go back next time and see like 60 comments calling me an arsehole, and I'm like, oh, sweet. But no, it's life. It's all part of it, right? But yeah, I don't know. I bet it's similar, because like trying to get into like making YouTube videos and kind of going that way with it, that's a whole nother challenge of, like, you know, we went through our training, which is very analytical, very focused in that, and then trying to take a creative arc to that, I've found super challenging. Like, trying to write and present videos in an engaging way that's not briefing someone has been massive. Like, that, having to re-record every scene 5 or 6 times to try and like make it a bit more interesting, make it a bit more flowy, rather than just next slide, next slide, next slide. That's been a massive challenge, but it's been fun. It's definitely something new.
Do you enjoy the creative aspect of all this?
Yeah, I think because I'm a bit of a YouTube fiend. Like, I watch shitloads of YouTube anyway. I've always found it quite interesting of like how they bring it all together. I don't think I'm very good. I don't think I'm very creative. I think the analytical brain and the creative brain fight each other. But I think it's getting there. It's getting a bit more flowy, and get like, even looking at like the editing bars of like the videos, seeing how many different things I have in them now compared to like when I first started, where it was very like one dimensional. Yeah, it's cool. It's different.
Yeah, I'll do a bit of a segue here, but I've actually started watching Mr. Beast.
Yeah,
because like one of my kids, you know, they
found out who he was.
Yeah, and I was like, oh fuck, this is actually pretty interesting. Like the shows that he runs.
It's crack, man.
Yeah, and then I was like watching how he edits it and how it, like the patter of it, and it's pretty much like the patter of like an ad or a trailer, but it's like 30 minutes long.
It's
like
constant. Yeah.
It's just constant action, like. And it always feels like as he talks, like, I always feel like the video's about to start.
Yeah.
It's just like
or he's like constantly building to something.
yeah.
It's like build, and it's just like this weird like bump. Yeah. No, it's very impressive. But like, have you ever listened to a podcast where he talks about learning YouTube? Like, so like him and I don't think he's ever named who they are. So like him and a few of his mates, essentially, when they were starting YouTube, they would go sit in Discord calls for like 10 hours every day, watching videos and like analyzing it and like breaking it down to the finest points to understand like what would work, what wouldn't. Like, he took it to like the most extreme level. I think he even said that like, I think like 2 years ago, he's like, I basically broke. Like, he's like, he wasn't very happy with what he created, like turned YouTube into, because he turned it into this like constant like endorphin buzz of like, he figured out the perfect algorithm for attention and then just spammed it. I mean, he's probably not upset about the ridiculous amounts of money he's made, but yeah, I mean, it's very impressive. It's just, I mean, it's his, he is just hyper focused on it. Like, that's all he cares about.
Yeah. It's really interesting. It was like entertaining shows too, like cool.
Yeah. That's it.
And then I'm just like, fuck, the amount of money that goes into some of these things.
Like,
trapping
there's
people in a room for
there's
100
crazy
days.
stuff where it's like, he's like, I spent $100,000 on 7 seconds, like for like a one tiny clip. Yeah. Or like he'll make a whole video and then he's not happy with what happened, so he just bin it off and just get rid of it completely. Yeah. Because it's like, he's so perfectionist about it that it's like, oh, didn't work. Concept didn't work. Fuck it. Bin it off. Burn it. Yeah. I think there's another YouTuber that I watch a bit called Ludwig, and he, his most viewed video was a Mr. Beast video that he was in that Mr. Beast didn't want to upload.
Really?
So he uploaded it to his channel and it was his most viewed video. And like, he's a massive YouTuber by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, it's just unstoppable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I was like, man.
It is. It's very, and
man.
it's, yeah. I mean, that's it. You just fucking,
Yeah.
to a special level, I think.
Yeah.
Like a certain focus that you get.
Yeah.
But no,
100%.
should we shift the chat towards southeast? No, Southwest Pacific, New Zealand. Should we talk about New Zealand? We were chatting before we started about the SAS's, what do they call it? Security threat assessment, yearly threat assessment.
Yeah, the like the national security assessment, or whatever it's called.
Whatever they call it.
Yeah. So every year they've been releasing these, and I think one of the reasons behind these getting released publicly is because we really, in New Zealand, it's been noted that it's really important that we get public discourse and attention in national security concepts and issues. Because as it says in the report itself, one of the key things is that New Zealand's security is tied to our prosperity, contrary to what a lot of people in the public might think. We're no longer this country at the bottom of the world that's quite isolated, and we got to get rid of the illusion that we're so far away that nothing bad could ever happen to us. That's been proven that that's not the case. We've had those lone actors conducting some pretty horrific attacks, and then we've had some other smaller scale things, but then we've also got foreign espionage, foreign interference in our systems, and it's really important for the country to understand that. So yeah, they've released that report, and I think some of the key assessments, for someone like you and I, Dan, we're just like, oh yeah, no shit, but a lot of the country probably aren't tracking, so I think it's really important.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's good to, even if it is like, banging on the same drum, much like it is across all of Europe, it's good to call out those threats, especially when they're state-sponsored and, well, they're state threats. You know, calling it as it is. Even if we both know they're going to continue conducting their operations, still going to be quite effective. But at least if you're calling it out, there's some type of awareness, and people are aware that these types of things are happening in the community, like in universities, in businesses, especially like key strategic businesses. Like they want they want that IP, man. They want that IP.
Yeah,
like that is.
And it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty lucrative, I suppose. There's some good industry in New Zealand, the way we do things, and it also calls out, of course, the strategic environment as well, especially in the Pacific. I've talked about it multiple times. Great power competition, rise of China, all that kind of stuff, and that's all called out, which is really good. And it's timely as well because, and I think this was probably done on purpose, so release that report. Then Judith Collins, our defence minister, came out and said, we're spending $2 billion on Seahawks. And if you read the comments in those, in RNZ and things like that, like people are just up in arms about it. Like, what about the hospitals? What about education? It's like an insurance policy, man. Like, we need this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Without that, you don't worry about the hospital, mate.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. No, I'm sure the timing of that is not not by accident. Which is pretty smart, It's especially like it's interesting now living in Europe and seeing the difference in like people are still reluctant to spend on defense in Europe. Like the same issues are here. Like hospitals are falling apart, infrastructure's falling apart. There's not enough money for everything, but they still need to boost their money on defense. But I mean, having a war in the same continent as you tends to bring people around. And it definitely has, especially within some more contentious countries like Germany, where they've kind of flipped 180, going from like, we don't want to spend anything to we want to boost the numbers of the military to like double the defense budget, or even triple. It's quite interesting to see. But yeah, New Zealand, I feel like the New Zealand population has always had this even like New Zealand media is pretty, the way they like portray these threats as like these far off, like distant threats that could never possibly touch New Zealand shores. And it's just not the way of the world anymore. We're past that.
People need to realise since COVID, like how badly treated the defence forces as well. Like,
yeah, I mean,
we need
how many people
to contribute. Yeah,
I tell people this. It's like there was 15 people in the unit. Me and you were doing what we did.
Yeah,
it's 2 or 1. 1, I think 2. I think it's 2.
Yeah,
we won't name them, but I think it's 2 left. So like there's a lot of experience. Like everyone there held rank to some degree. Had lots of experience going overseas.
Yeah.
All gone.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, well, fuck, we're not going to be stopping any invasions, blah, blah, blah. But it's not about that. It's about having good people in those organisations that can actually contribute well overseas with our partners. And that's what it's actually about. And when you don't have people, or you don't have people who can actually train, you don't have people who can conduct the training, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel for people to actually deploy. And when I say bottom of the barrel, I don't mean useless people. It's just literally no one. So yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty scary. And like, I mean, security is always tied to trade, right? Like, if you need to go overseas and show you're a willing participant in the global community for countries to take you seriously and want to buy your products, like trade deals very quickly follow from participating in military exercises or going on joint deployments. I think the best example is when the fallout from not letting the US ships that possibly were nuclear into New Zealand, and then the US like cut us off basically until we went into Iraq, Afghan with them. Yeah. And then, suddenly we're back trading with them. Suddenly we've got trading deals. Like, that stuff is just hand in hand. Like, and
it's just the way of the world.
We need to diversify trading with, not one country. Um, kind of on that topic, the video I've been making this week is on Chinese shipbuilding and comparing it to the UK and US. Bro, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, that is
crazy. Like, yeah. The shipbuilding capacity of China at the moment, they're just pumping them out compared to the West. It's just like skyrocketed. The stats are, I don't have them in front of me at the moment, but
I mean, I have a whole video. But it's, it's like, in the last year, they've put out more ships than the US have since World War II. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. There's like, after making the video, I did have like the one thought of like, are they like as good? I mean, and the technicality was the big thing that kind of I brought back. Like, China's making a lot of ships, but they're not as technically advanced as the ships the UK and the US have, especially when it comes to like submarines and aircraft carriers. But if there's a conflict, the UK and US have no way to replenish, whereas China could rebuild their entire navy in 2 years.
Yeah.
Like,
and when you talk about like technical, like who's more technologically advanced, like, is China really that far behind as well?
No, and that's it. That gap is getting, every day is getting closed in on. Like, it will not be long until it's like, oh, well, that's just a non-issue anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then new ships too.
Yeah, that's it. Half of their navy was built after 2010. Madness.
Yeah.
What's that? Like, and they do like smart, I was going to say ingenious, but it's not even ingenious. It's just logical. All of their shipyards are dual use. So they build both naval and civilian ships or commercial ships. So like, you could switch if you are pumping out container ships and then suddenly you need fuckloads of naval ships. You just can build them in the same place because the same people are doing the same things. And all of their ferries are built to military grade. So the deck weights are rated to take armored, like to take tanks. So they can use all of their civilian ferries. Like, all of these, like, I mean, if you're getting ready for a massive war, it makes kind of sense. But yeah, like, all of these things, and it was a demoralizing video to make, to be honest, because it just started off so bad. It was like,
this infographic got in front of me. So the US accounts for 0.1% of global shipbuilding, and then it's China at 53.3%, then South Korea, and then Japan.
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah. And then like Trump has also alienated South Korea and Japan in the last like few months over his tariffs. South Korea, they have a meeting this week, and they want to put up the price of how much the US is paying to keep their troops in South Korea, and they want to renegotiate like the US housing nuclear weapons in South Korea. And then Japan's similar. Japan's real pissy about the trade agreements. Like, I get Trump wants to make more money from tariffs, which is insane because tariffs make money from your own country anyway.
Yeah.
But that's a completely different issue here. He's just like, the two partners he has, like his two key strategic partners in the region, he's just pissing off. Like, over what is literally like pennies on the dollar for like, in the grand scale.
Yeah, there's it's such a contentious topic, the tariffs thing, and especially if you talk about Trump as well. That's why I don't talk about American politics, man. Like,
that's fair. I tried to do that, and then I just got more.
Yeah, man, I just get attacked. But yeah, the tariffs thing, it's touchy, and it's really interesting as to like why they're doing it as well. Like, is it just I don't know the answer to that, but yeah.
So like, I've watched way too many videos on this.
Yeah.
Strategically, it makes sense. If you want to bring certain industry, like shipbuilding, right? If he wanted to bring shipbuilding back to the US, the way you would do it is you tariff any external shipbuilding providers so that the costs of buying the ships from overseas are the equivalent to buying the ships from at home. So you're essentially, say I'm buying a new ship, and I am picking between foreign buyer or local buyer. Foreign buyer can make it cheaper because he gets cheaper labor, cheaper steel, etc., etc. So to offset that disparity, you tariff the incoming foreign product to make it the same as your local product. The concept, from what I understand, only works if it's long-term, because it needs to be long enough to build your own domestic market. So long enough that you start an entire shipbuilding, manufacturing market in your own country, and they need to be consistent because it requires the people, like a company, to invest in the building of that product in your country, which is a costly endeavor to set up. So that the whole him fluctuating the tariffs all the time means that no one is confident enough to start that industry in the US, because they don't know if Trump next week is going to turn the tariffs off. And then if the tariffs get turned off, you're making a product for twice the price at home that no one's ever going to buy because they can buy it from half the price overseas with no tariffs.
Yeah. And if you're wanting to do that to bring industry back to your country via tariffs, that's a long-term game as well. Industry doesn't just
it has to be 10, 20, 30 years. Yeah. It's not it's not even and I mean, it's not just a Trump era thing. It needs to be a multiple. Everybody has to agree. This has to be the long-term strategic plan of the US. And it makes sense. They've done it for batteries. They've had that for years now to try and bring the battery industry back to the US, because batteries are super important. You don't want to be relying on a foreign adversary for your batteries. And electronics. I think the things that make sense to me is electronics, military equipment, ships at this point. Yeah. Though I probably didn't know that until I started making this video. What was that? Pharmaceuticals was the other big, they get made overseas. Interestingly, most of them are made in Europe though, rather than the US and China. So yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the crux on tariffs and why it's just insane. And also the tax or the tariff isn't placed upon the company selling the product. It's placed upon the buyer. So you are taxing your own people.
Yeah.
So it's paid on the way into the country. So you're not getting money from a foreign country. You're getting money from your country. That's how it works.
Yeah. And if you're importing these things and you're oh fuck, I'm getting tariffed out the arsehole for it, but there's no one else to turn to procure that resource.
Yeah, that's it. So people, the people that have got real annoyed about it is clothing manufacturers, right? Yeah. There's no clothing manufacturing in the US that's even to the same level as China. China makes, and other countries like Taiwan and Thailand, I think Vietnam, but it's all done there. There is no domestic market for high-end manufacturing of clothing. So it's all of these companies are fucked.
Yeah.
And there was crazy stories of I've bought product X. It's on a container coming to the US. Tariffs come on. So you're a business owner. You budget I bought product for X. I can sell product for Y. These are my costs. These are my margins. This is my tax. And then there's a 50% tariff slapped on top of that isn't accounted for. So you either increase the price to a silly amount, or you make no money whatsoever. Probably lose money on your product because it's doubled. The cost price is now doubled. Yeah. Yeah, so there's heaps of companies that got absolutely done over. So what was it? Nintendo Switches. So Nintendo turned around and just doubled the price of them instantly as soon as they were tariffs. Yeah, they made the Switch 2, and I think it was 2 weeks before release. They just doubled the price, or slapped some crazy extra price on it because they were well, we don't know how much this is going to cost to get to the US, so just jack the price up.
Far out. Well, hopefully that strategy works out then, because the the Trump administration isn't in indefinitely as well.
No, it's
And because,
not.
Republican, Democrat, it's very different ideologies too. So
Yeah,
just to say that
and
that's going to continue.
so just I don't live there. I have no buck in the game, but just like watching it is just insanity. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah. I listen to like a finance kind of finance comedy is a weird kind of mix, but like that kind of podcast most mornings, and like he just talks about this all the time. He's a US dude. He just gets so wound up.
You should get him on, man. Try and get him on your podcast.
No, he's massive.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. One day, when.
Nice.
But no, it's pretty interesting, and like all of this stuff, like has flow-on effects, right? As we always were taught and talked about, it's like second, third order effects. Like they're just so apparent in these decisions. There's like second. It's not even second order effect at this point. It's this fucking effect is like on Japan and South Korea is just straight up like South Korea is trying to get a trade deal with China. Like they've been mortal enemies for 50 years.
Yeah.
And you're like, suddenly they're like, oh, well, I guess we'll be friends with them now. Like,
at the end of the day, man, money talks. That's like the way it is. Got to keep the economies going.
And also everyone's struggling. Like, every country is in absolute dire need of like a boost in their economy. So
is it the same over where you are? Because in New Zealand, man, like it's pretty grim. If you read the news, like people are like, "Oh man, cost of living."
I mean,
control.
It's grim. It's definitely grim. I don't think certain things aren't as grim. So like alcohol here is pretty bad. This is in the UK specific. Alcohol's pretty bad. Eating out at restaurants is getting pretty bad. But like food and grocery stores, comparatively to what I've seen in New Zealand, is nowhere near as bad. Like, butter is the classic one, right? Butter here is still like $4 New Zealand.
Fuck, jeez.
Yeah, but like, I mean, butter is not a good example because butter is made in New Zealand. So the fact you guys are paying like $15 is insane. But like everything's closer here. Like, you can bring everything from Europe. Even now they've left the EU. Like they've made some pretty good trade deals recently to like open up produce coming in from Europe. So stuff like that's like vegetables are still super cheap. Like you can buy most veggies for like $1, so like $2.
Yeah.
But things are still definitely going up. Like but they're not to the crazy levels that I've seen in New Zealand.
Yeah. New Zealand's pretty bad. Not to turn this into a whinge fest on the cost of living, but for anyone that's external to New Zealand, our butter is a big thing in the news recently. It was like between $8 and $15 for a block of butter.
For a dairy producing nation.
Yeah, petrol is pretty bad here. Dairy is just out of control. Meat's going up there, and funnily enough, the ones that stayed consistent in terms of price, which is pretty good, as alcohol. Still like
that's fucking crazy.
$30 for a slab, which is not bad.
Jeez, I mean, actually, to be fair, alcohol in the supermarket here is disgustingly cheap. Like, I think a 12-pack of beer is $20. Like, a bottle of spirits is $30.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
not good. Yeah, man, but it's not what you want to be cheap in a time where people are paying the mental toll. No, I don't know, because me and my partner, we talk about moving back like reasonably often, and like what we would do and where we would go, and like the idea of coming back to New Zealand is very scary, to be honest. Like so someone like yourself with your career and your job, I don't see a lot of those kind of roles in New Zealand, the private roles, and it's crazy, man. Like, I think there is a market for it. There just needs to be the appetite for it. New Zealand's behind it in a lot of things, which is fine, but if you came back here, I don't know where you would work. It'd be
unless you've got a remote gig kind of thing.
That would be, I think, the only way I see myself living in New Zealand is if I have a remote role. So would like still working externally, doing remote, or HM has gone to the moon and I'm doing that. That would be the only two things. Otherwise, but even Australia, like, still not as much work in Australia. Like I would still be up against it to find a role there. Like, yeah, it's pretty scary, man.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, we're looking at having a kid soon, and so like, and then like, do we want to raise a kid in the UK? Like, I don't know. You think kids are little shits in New Zealand, bro? Fuck it out. You get on a bus in the UK, and some 8-year-old will threaten to stab you, and you're like,
really?
What are you doing? Not 8, but like youth crime in London is fucking wild. Yeah. When I used to work in crisis management, it would be like every weekend there'll be kids that have killed each other, just stabbed each other to death.
Far out.
Yeah, it's insane stuff.
That's mental, man.
Some crazy ones. So I was on shift once. There's an area called Croydon, which is in like South London. There was 7 stabbings within 2 hours across Croydon. So not like one event, like in different areas of Croydon. And then on the bus, so not while I was on the bus, but on the same bus that I would get to and from work on, someone got stabbed and killed. Just stuff like that, where it's like, it's way too close to home. Like, where you're like, oh, I get on that bus.
Yeah.
Is this like run past
thing?
No, it's just a youth crime thing. It's this is just disenfranchised youth in London.
Jeez.
Yeah. Just with I've never really delved into the socioeconomic issues, but from what I understand, they come from like estates. They don't really have much options, so this is what they do: deal drugs and join gangs.
Far out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, stabbings in London, yeah, pretty famously bad. Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, so it's not as bad as to completely flip it on its head. It's not as bad as the media portrays it.
Oh,
like,
nah.
When one of my mates moved here, yeah.
Yeah.
When one of my mates moved here, he thought it would be like, you know, we lived in a very rough part of London, and he thought it would be like, you know, running the gauntlet every day, and we never had an issue at all.
Yeah.
I am a relatively large white dude. There was a street gang that lived near us and like would stand out on the road, and they thought we were cops. So that was probably why we didn't. Yeah, they would call us officers whenever we walked past.
True.
They asked our landlord if we were cops while we lived there. Yeah.
True.
It was pretty funny. But yeah.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. No, New Zealand's fine.
No.
It's just things are a bit expensive at the moment. What
is? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Europe's are these the same issues facing New Zealanders? Because these are the issues that I see looking at like European politics is cost of living, housing prices, and immigration. They're the 3 big swing issues for politics.
Yeah. I don't know if immigration is a massive one for us, but it certainly is cost of living, housing prices, and things like healthcare as well, healthcare education. Healthcare is a massive one in New Zealand because it's publicly funded and it's underfunded, and you know there's been cuts and all that kind of stuff. So that's in New Zealand, but I think that's across the board, right? And a lot of people in New Zealand, they look to greener pastures overseas. And while they can go overseas and earn more money and stuff, but I think by and large, countries are experiencing the same issues. You just get to live in a better place, and experience them.
Probably not the best way to put it. Still expensive.
More money, but it's still same problems.
I don't know if that's how we'd sell it.
Yeah.
No, I think I don't I don't see easy solutions to these problems either. And like
Yeah.
the way it's going in European politics is countries vote in, countries are en masse getting rid of whoever was in charge and voting in a more right-leaning party
Yeah.
in
So
general.
does. Yeah.
And when the issue is when that doesn't work, because they still have the same issues, right? They still can't solve a housing crisis. They can't bring the price of things down to what people remember. And they just can't stop immigration. They, like the voting public, are just going to vote for the next most extreme option.
Yeah.
And the issue in London, well, in Europe and the UK, is the next most extreme option is very extreme. Like, there's a party in UK called Reform, which are like send them all back, like round them up, like Trump-esque policies of like mass deportations. And they are like winning in the polls by unbelievable margin. Like, and they're like a non-tradition. Like the UK has had Labour and Conservatives forever, and currently Reform are winning by miles. And the Conservatives are like seem like a minor party. They have no say.
Really?
Yeah, and then like Germany with the AfD party, like the AfD are leading because, as I just explained, Germany's voted in a right-leaning centrist party, but they haven't solved the problems.
No.
So now they're looking for the more extreme option, which is the AfD.
Yeah.
Which are like,
far out. That'll be interesting to watch then.
yeah, the next German election I think will be crazy. The AfD are winning like local seats now. Same in the UK. Reform are winning local council seats like pretty consistently. I think they're up to like 18. So like, yeah. Yeah, so I think Europe's on a pretty fast track to some pretty wild ideas that I don't know if I want to hang around and find out how it pans out. Yeah. Kind of got you liked your indicators and warnings workshop. I gave my girlfriend a lesson on what that means and what some we're looking for in the European community. That might mean we need to pack up and go home. This European holiday may be over.
Yeah. That's interesting to watch then. Yeah, it would be
I think
on that. I think
I think Germany just had their election, so it's still like a good few years away. The UK is the same. I think it's like 2 years away. But like, unless they find solutions to these problems very quickly, then you're going to start seeing some.
Yeah, because it's kind of like the political party at the moment, like the centre-right, but it's a coalition government. And you've got essentially three parties that are at different levels of the spectrum that are right-leaning. So you've got you've got National, which is kind of centre-right, New Zealand First, and then ACT, if I remember correctly. ACT on there.
Which one's Winnie?
He's New Zealand First. So he's a centrist party, but they're kind of more leaning right now as well. So yeah, like we're kind of going that we're nowhere near conservatives. But we're still in that right leaning kind of era, which is interesting to watch. Yeah,
especially for New Zealand. New Zealand is a very liberal country that
So
I think is getting
lots of cuts to government and all that kind of thing. But funnily enough, immigration and all that kind of thing, that tap is still very much turned on because.
I mean, I suppose you're losing people at such a rate.
Yeah.
That like, if you don't have people coming in.
Yeah.
It's what I think I read last month was like the most Kiwis had ever left.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy the amount of people that are heading over to Aussie. It's just because, cost of living and better wages over there as well. But we're replacing those people with people from countries who are happy to accept lower wages. Which is fine, like we're getting lots of labour, but at the same time it's suppressing the local wages as well because you've got a whole bunch of people who are happy to work for whatever, whereas Kiwis, they're like, well, I know I'm not worth that low, so, but they're just have to accept it.
Yeah, because they're competing, it's like the race to the bottom, right?
Yeah,
man, it's
pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think New Zealand needs to find some ways to make money, like good money. Maybe let's
Yeah.
get back into
Well, that's the
let's
thing.
get back into
Yeah.
oil and gas.
Yeah, like we've certainly branched into like political talk now, but
Yeah,
we do because we're so tied into primary industry and like agriculture and tourism are like some of our key exports,
money makers. Yeah,
and those are pretty low wage industries.
yep.
You know, I
They're not
don't
like
think,
modern high tech.
yeah, we need to be like high tech, like a tech industry. I think we've got so much to offer in terms of that space. If we leverage like innovation and tech, man, we'd be good to go. We don't have much else. We don't have many natural resources and these really cool things like Aussie does, or we don't have the appetite to just mine our way
To absolute
into
rip.
prosperity. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's pretty crazy.
I suppose ripping the earth off a desert, ripping the roof off a desert is a lot different to ripping up forest. So,
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just So we don't have that. But yeah, there's just got to be other ways.
yeah, no, I totally agree. It's just how does the country it has to start, right? It has to like start from somewhere.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. It's rough to watch, and it's like I still have family in New Zealand, like all of my family. So like it's like oh fuck.
yeah. But to swing it back to the original topic, if there is a massive conflict in the Indo-Pacific, if you think the things are bad now, it's going to get a whole lot worse.
Yeah, it's going again. So you best put money into weapons because
Yeah,
the best way to avoid a conflict is to be way too powerful to get into one.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, actually, to bring it all around,
yeah,
it could always get worse.
yeah,
That's if there was one thing the army taught me, it can always get worse.
yeah. Absolutely.
Oh dear. Oh, that's a cheery topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Far out. Should we wrap it up, or do you want to keep going?
Yeah. We're coming on to the hour already. It
Yeah,
always goes way too fast. So
Yeah,
I
that was
hope
cracker.
people found that last 20 minutes insightful, talking about the price of butter and
Super niche New Zealand issues.
yeah. But it's good to know that there's issues in your part of the world too, Dan. It's not
Yeah,
just a
oh,
New
bro.
Zealand issue. Yeah.
Absolutely not. No,
Yeah.
Europe is a comedy of errors, but oh well.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
Mm.
All right. Anything you want to plug before we wrap it up?
Yeah. So we've got a few things at the moment. We've got a couple free trainings which we have. As you mentioned, we've got Indicators and Warnings workshop, which has been quite popular. What you can do there, you go in. It's a free three-part, three module, essentially mini course talking about indicators and warnings. So essentially, what that is things that you can watch in the news, online, wherever, that could kind of indicate whether a conflict or an event is going or not going to happen, or if something's going to get worse or get better. So it helps you understand that. It's kind of the way an analyst looks at a problem and watches a problem unfold, and it enables you to do that as well. A second one is on Monday, we're launching another free course, a mini course, which is an OSINT course. That is certainly an introductory kind of thing. So you're not going to learn anything advanced in there, but if you are interested in open source intelligence, how you can do it from the safety of your own computer, and kind of just some advanced techniques on how to dive deeper into a particular topic, then please by all means jump on that. I think that'll be really interesting for a lot of people. And then coming up in a week, we're opening registrations to our fourth cohort for the Intelligence Analyst Certification course, and that'll be open for about 10 days. And that's a really good course. So you learn everything from 0 to 100 in terms of what it takes and the skills and knowledge needed to become an intelligence analyst. Learning everything from direction, building requirements, how to contribute to collection planning, processing and analyzing information, and then building intelligence product at the end of it and disseminating it. So the idea behind that course is that we qualify you and give you everything you need to be a very comprehensive and well-rounded analyst. So you're not just someone who can take information and dive into it and close off the rest of the world, but you're actually a wheeling and dealing integrated intelligence analyst. So look out for that if you're keen. I'll give Dan the links to all those in the show description. Yeah,
Boy.
I'd love to see you on board.
Yeah, mate. Sounds good. I will make sure to get them down in the description. Thank you for coming on. It's always good to have a good yarn, and I will catch you again soon.
Awesome, mate. Good to see you.
See you.